Hello my friends, and welcome to my July-August Israel's coming back. Just before I start, I want to let you know there is like still a speed up special. So if you order something, it's not going to last 3 weeks as a regular reading. You're going to get it within a week. Also, if you order rush, you're going to get it within 3 days, not a week, and urgent readings 24 hours. So some of you are really familiar with this reading. These cards here are taken from a different deck, and they're called significators. Significator means, hey, I really want to describe something that is happening over here, but this is not a card that I read. So yes, this front row is going to be identical in all the readings because of that. If you did see this explanation, just jump to the reading. But if you haven't, please listen to it because it's actually really important and it's a part of the reading. So this very first card, the Magician, I picked because it's a number 1. I really want to see how to move forward. In this category, as above, so below, what can be the best that can come out of this relationship? What are the tools that they're given? You know, not everybody is given like sort of like, you know, full house. Some of us really have to deal with what basically we are kind of like handed. So this is going to tell me if this is even a starter, this relationship. Temperance here is purposely reversed because in the upright position, Temperance talks, hey, can I mix these two opposites? So let's say one is really good, one is really bad. Is there a point of making this in the middle if it's not? Generally, really, I want to see which things are pulling this relationship apart. What cannot be glued? What has to be glued in order to move forward? Then Queen of Wands is going to be one significator. It could be you. It doesn't matter if it's a male or female, even though I'm using wands all the time. And not everybody is a fire sign, which usually wands are used for. And the reason why I'm doing this is like when we date, we kind of are very action oriented. We kind of like do for a moment, step in this fire and acting like that. And then we sort of like settle in our own sign. This is going to give me communication between the two of you. What's going on? How is it projected? What could or won't happen? And now the two really important cards would be Judgment, which is one of my chosen karma cards. And I want to see in this category, was this a karmic mate? Was this a karmic soulmate? Because then I would advise you, look, get a karmic reading too, because this is actually part of you and your path. You wanted this person to come here. Usually karmic soulmate or twin flame is like, ouch, relationship, right? And here we're going to see where is this going. Is this going a step further or is it not going a step further? So hopefully this was like not too much of introduction, and let's start. Hi Aries, and welcome to your July-August. So we're going to see about his exes and kind of like the energies in the air. This is a general reading, so if you don't get messages for you, check also your ascendant, check Venus sign, and if you're cross-watching, make sure you're checking their Mars sign. So let's start. And of course, private reading is always the best. Whoa, interesting opening that I see here for you, Aries. Look at that. You're dealing with something karmic. It's, who am I to kind of like mess with it, right? You're really showing up right in this karma category. And yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you didn't check the introduction, so please just go back so you will know what these significators mean. So it was a situation, looks like you're dealing where you really felt kind of like buried down and lost and like almost like helpless, no way for you to kind of like look at it. Some of you, I think, are reconsidering commitment, or somebody may be called off commitment toward you, and it's kind of like you are not willing or capable of moving to this next stage. You see the World card with these 4 fixed signs: Aries, Aries, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo. It's supposed to be like the angel holding the whole thing. There is like this hidden infinity sign over here, but when this reverses, it's really not a good place to be. And this is definitely linking with your karma. You're not fulfilling your karma with something. You're kind of like clinging to certain, I would say, rights. Like the Empress is a really good card, but it's like falling here in the category of what needs to be glued. Like you, especially ladies, you have lost some kind of essence of who you are, and you're debating things that have nothing to do with you. The real issue is, you know how couples fight and blah 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 blah. So first 2 minutes you have argument over something, and then it's like, oh, you didn't like take the bottles out, oh, you didn't like, it's kind of like goes off. And something like in the past you have been, looks like, hurt, you have been possibly even violated in this case that I see it, and you are not able to either forgive or forget, because the world, holding the world just like this and living in the past is not it's just like not a place to be, even though it could have been a really nice place. You have another infinity over here, the Strength. The whole experience is asking you to re-emerge, to kind of like be a bigger, a better person. It's literally asking you. There is somebody here who undermine you, looks like, you know, I don't know. I see kind of like these 4 energies. I see also Libra. I also see the other fire signs, Leo. But I also see a really strong Scorpio, right? In addition to, I guess, Taurus and Aquarius. Now, it is kind of like the energy that you really need to kind of like put things behind and say, hey, you know, the worst is over. I'm dead. And you're not physically dead, but metaphorically something has kind of finished, and something really needs to kind of like start moving forward for some kind of reason. There could be also legal aspects of this to some extent. You are showing up in a karma segment where you actually need to learn something, but so far there is like still a failure, because when the Hangman shows up, there is like our submission to the situation. It's kind of very hard, especially, you know, the less we have, or the more you have. It's kind of like people in the middle kind of like are finding it easier. But if you kind of have to control your life, or if you kind of like have your own business, your own job, then it's kind of like really hard to, yeah, it's probably not a coincidence that I sneeze right now. It's definitely really telling me that something is kind of like tickling you funny, that you're really irritated, and you need to kind of like purge it. You need to kind of like get it out. It is like the way the body kind of like removes that irritation. And I think when these certain things happen, they happen always for a reason. I was just talking about something needs to be purged over here. You need to kind of like regain a control of your life, but in order to do that, you first have to let go of it, right? If the cable is built improperly and electricity is not coming through, no amount of hoping that it will come through is not going to happen. It needs to be rebuilt, and I kind of like see that over here. Some of you have children, and some of you are feeling that your inability to move forward is because of children, or you're saying, hey, you know what, this is kind of like how it should be, and isn't this always those shoulds are getting us in trouble? And I don't know if this kind of like remove the zoom when I stop the recording. This is kind of like really important to see that you're dealing here with a person who is flighty, who doesn't appreciate your value. you're almost like insisting being with somebody who can as well be an alien, you know. It's kind of like need over here for you is to have stability, and I can so see it over here. It's kind of really interesting, but you guys will have plenty of choices, but you will have opportunity to actually start healing, and this is the same vibration. It's kind of like you're just turning it up. It's kind of like, you know, one of the simplest ways of increasing your vibration is to clean your fridge, spick and span, organize everything properly, and clean your closets. Immediately your energy is going to shift 1 or 2 or 3 notches up immediately, within hours. And it's so simple, and so many people carry that stale energy, and all these articles of clothing and the old cans and bottles of ketchup in the fridge are carrying that energy that we have attached to them. So just by throwing them out and cleaning them, it's all of a sudden kind of like new. And check it out, it's a feng shui principle. It's very important. So I'm seeing here that there is like this possibility of getting this uplift. I see there's lots of grounding over here. So grounding is good. You need to get out of your head, go out, put your feet on the ground, kind of like pay attention to what is going on, be in awe. Like, to me, that always reminds me of a child, that everything is an opportunity. Or if you just look at a kitty and you see all of a sudden those big eyes, oh, you know, like this is kind of like, oh, amazing. And like we all giggle because it's got such exciting feeling of a new discovery. So you'll be actually starting to see, you see how she was kind of like twisted, right, trying to get his control, but like, I mean, she's still trying to look this way. She kind of like wants to go in that direction. And now it is, hey, you know what, okay, let me try to kind of like pull myself by the bootstraps and let me start walking forward, right? Now you're dealing with a person who's not giving you the answers, who maybe for some reason can't or doesn't want to contact you. This person is also highly manipulative. You also may be dealing with Cancer or some other water sign over here as well. But the star can mean kind of like that hope and communication, but I really see it here. There is like, it could be a hope for communication, but they are not going to. There is like a reason why they're not communicating, and that can be a few things. If you're not the one married to them, they could be married to somebody else, or they could have somebody who is important and who is holding those reins, right? The Chariot means those reins are really kind of like on them, and it's somebody who is basically making a black and white. Maybe you are even making a black and white. Not that there's wrong with anything wrong with this. Maybe you're saying, hey, what's up? Are you with me? Are you not with me? And you maybe kind of like want to get this clarity of that information, and they're always dancing, oh, I know, you're like, and gaslighting, and you know how this really works. Instead of answering such a simple question with yes or no, that's where people can go, me included, ballistic. Immediately I know, you know, you're lying. People say, how do you know? Well, I see this little red light just over your head going like liar, 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 kind of a thing. And that's what you're dealing with here. The truth is here, guys, again, it's not about them. It's about how you handle the situation. This person is in denial. This person will deny whatever is being said or thrown at them. It's sad that it is, but this person is vicious. King of Cups is the person who will hold your hand and say, let's walk down the stars, and let's kind of like see this like moonlight, and it's the beach, and all the kind of like triggers are there, and there's this big kiss and looking in your eyes, and all you're hearing is love, and all they want is like what they can get out of you in this moment. So the whole entire setup was like a trap. You know how in Africa they do these traps for the animal, and they kind of like, and that's what King of Cups reverse does. It's highly manipulative energy, and especially if this was like a water sign, especially if this was Cancer, and that kind of like was some kind of like really low end, that kind of like was doing. However, you have some other people who looks like are there, who might be appearing, who you need to open up to it. or this could be your father. Like King of Pentacles could be like, I mean, for those of you, so it could be two different streams. I see some of you being highly manipulated and being overly promised and then let down, but I see, and I see here somebody who just like wants the booty call. So it's going to be a really tough call for you this month, because all of these kind of like messages are happening. So probably you guys Arians are throwing like, I mean, really difficult curveballs at me. But there is like this fellow over here saying, hey, look at me, I'm reliable. Yes, I know I'm could be a little bit boring. All I care about is like good food and good family, and you are kind of like usually a go-getter, but you really kind of like could use, if nothing else, family energy, mentor energy, a dedication to work, dedication to just like stabilizing in a small way, you know. But it also tells me that for some of you, yeah, there is a possibility of healing if this person was not deceptive, because this can be seen as a completely different kind of character coming here. So let's see where August is heading. Down the rabbit hole, I see that again. Oh boy, this Mercury retrograde is bringing all these soulmates and karmic soulmates, and there is like something karmic over here. Look, you have a 6 and you have a 6. Do we have another 6? I don't think so. Yeah, we do. 3 6s. That's a karmic soulmate, plus we have one of my karma cards, 2 of my karma cards. So for you, this is like why it feels like strong entanglement. Karma is saying the truth needs to be told. You need to kind of face the truth. It might hurt, but it's going to set you free to go in the next phase. Clearly, communication has to be done in a way, hey, you know what, it's time to move forward. You know, there is a baggage that looks like both of you are carrying, and it's kind of like there is a bridge over troubled waters. Look at here, the waters are very kind of like turbulent, but here they are empty. And it's not necessarily that where we end is going to be better for us. Remember, it looks like you need to kind of have some kind of like purge. So please, if you haven't done spring cleaning, do it now in the middle of the summer or in the middle of the winter, wherever you are on this planet, because these 3 are kind of like usually warning about the state of your relationship. That, you know, looks like to me that there is no problem attracting people. You, especially ladies, you're very attractive. You kind of like attract actually the right people to you. But there is like still an essence that you want a bad boy. You want somebody who actually doesn't want you, or somebody who will manipulate you, somebody who is going to just create a complete turmoil. So again, it's that a reappearance of the same message saying, look, you know what? If you keep building the house of cards, you're not going to lie down in it, because it's going to collapse. It keeps telling you, because you kind of move forward, but kind of like you retrieve back. So it's going to be something interesting, I think, especially if you're married. Somebody might ask for divorce. Somebody, it's kind of interesting, this kind of is devastation by the system, by the process. You can see how he's holding his fingers in benediction. But look at this person who has been devastated is telling us who murdered him. So you see, sometimes the rules, people apply rules the way they like it, and it looks like this partner might be kind of like sort of like giving you a third degree over something, and it might feel for a while bad. Don't take justice in your hands though, because these 2 karma cards are very important. Both of them have the sword in them, right? And she has this merchant scale saying, look, maybe now it feels like you're on the receiving end and something real didn't happen, but justice will get served sooner or later. And don't, because like if we act and react we feel release and we feel, hey, you know, I'm justified. That's even the word that exists. The truth is, we cannot do that. We are only accumulating minus karma points, and that's not the way to go. So guys, it is time to get out of this dark. It is time to move forward. It is time to heal. You will kind of like be doing well until Mercury retrograde, and it's going to kind of like go down for a while. So just keep going and just keep not reacting on any kind of provocation, because this person is just into how I want it. It has to be my way or the highway. And if you want that, you'll continue spinning, you'll continue hoping, oh, we did have the good time, I'm going to kind of change him or her. No, you're not going to, but you can go for another spin if that's what you like. So my dear Aries, again, this is a general reading, doesn't have to be you. If you want your own reading, please contact me at cattarot.ca, and yeah, you can check my Facebook and Instagram in the meantime. Since this is really karmic, that means you wrote somebody in your chart, so you can check my karmic reading, not only my X reading. And it will be good for you to check annual Taroscopes, the entire kind of like overview, and you can check this down in the description. And if you haven't subscribed, you see this button right here, just press it and you'll be invited for the live readings. So hence your energy is contributing to everybody. Thanks, Aries. This is going to be an interesting month, and I think you can do it. You did it before, you can do it again. I bet on you. Do you? Love you guys.